And welcome back to the Homemade Podcast of Sports with your host, Jay Pops. Guys, I have no clue on what happened with that stream, but shout out to Dylan Long for keeping me informed on that. Uh, I believe you guys should be able to see it now. Okay. But man, I am oh so sorry about that. I have no clue what happened to that stream. Um, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. That's a stream that totally got blew up, and it doesn't make any sense. Okay, hold on, just give me a minute. I want to be able to send this out in my respective Aggie groups, so they can maybe tune along as well. Okay, but guys, forgive me on that. I had no clue that stream did not work. I don't know what happened, but the stream didn't work. Okay, so that's my apologies on that. I believe that it's working now, though. If I'm not mistaken, it is working now. So let me see. Um, I don't know what's going on with my YouTube right now. This is unbelievable. Let me try to get on. Um, but you guys let me know if you all can hear everything now. Uh, like I said, it's crazy. I don't know what happened right there. Uh, Now it's telling me to update my YouTube on the phone, so I guess I'm behind on that one. But guys, forgive me on that, please. Um, but where was I? Okay, and I'm going to have to start this thing over. I'm going to have to start this thing over, and that's okay, right? That's what I'm here for. First and foremost, I'm back. Okay, I'm not going to not say that. Okay, I'm back, guys. Uh, I don't know what it's doing on that. But guys, I'm back. I don't know what's going on here, and here. Like I say, hold on for just 1 second here. Give me a little minute. I'm trying to open some things up here. Okay, cool. I think we're on and rolling, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so guys, I'm back. Okay. Uh, I just wanted to get that all situated. But man, it has been a long time. Once again, please forgive me. I sent this stream out the first time, and from my understanding, the stream went cold. You all, please let me know if this stream is still going. You know, I do need to know that. But guys, I'm back. I'm back, baby. We had a rough weekend out at Blue Barrel Park. You know, with the Aggies getting swept by Mizzou. You know, and it could have happened in a worse way because it happened on Mother's Day. So there's a lot of mothers out there that I know wasn't very happy, you know, but it is what it is. What has happened with this Texas A&M baseball team? What has happened with them? I'm going to say this, man. I saw a Mizzou team come in there and just absolutely lay the hammer down on A&M, in which those guys, you know, in my honest opinion, just rolled over and didn't get back up, you know. But that was a very hungry Mizzou team that hadn't won anything, that had it on their mind to just come in there and play loose, right? In which Mizzou was out to kill A&M season. And it's not only A&M, right? I have no clue who Missouri plays next. But they're out to kill anyone that may think they will have some postseason success against them. Or, I'm sorry, they're out to kill anyone that's going to the SEC tournament, right? Because they know they won't be there. And they probably won't be there for a while. But they had it on their minds to come to Blue Bell Park, and they were going to give it everything they had. And that's just exactly what they did. Now, shout out to Mizzou for coming in Bluebell Park for the first time in SEC league play. But A&M right now, man, they have a lot of explaining to do. Not only to the fan base, they have a lot of explaining to do to themselves. That series sweep was utterly embarrassing, not only for the program, but it was embarrassing for them as well, right? I can't tell you how that probably felt when they walked off that field, right? Because that's an embarrassing loss, man. That's a very embarrassing loss. Have I gone anywhere? No. Have I given up on this team? No. I will say this, right? And I said this on the first one for everybody that didn't, actually catch what I said on the first one because the stream was frozen. I still think A&M can go into Athens and they can beat Georgia. I still believe that. I believe this team could have beat Alabama, in which I stated, right, on the podcast, I stated one day that Mike Early has taken some of these wins away from these kids, right, by just pulling the pitchers out of the game in which he shouldn't be pulling them. He's pulled some wins away in which he's left the pitcher in the game, in which he shouldn't have left him in the game. But I said that to say this. This is the first time head coach in a very big baseball program, okay? We wouldn't be having this discussion if Texas A&M didn't play in the SEC right now. I don't think we'll be having this discussion if Texas A&M didn't play in the Big 12, okay? But unfortunately, Texas A&M plays in the SEC. Unfortunately, the media hyped this team up as the number one team, right? But they also hyped this team up as being the most talented team, in which talent doesn't lie. But so I'm not blaming the media on the talent. However, what they didn't say about this team was that this team lost a lot of aura from last year's College World Series Championship series team. And a lot of these kids have gotten hurt, okay? Caden Sorrell was one of them. He didn't play half the season. I'm going to say that once again. He didn't play half the season, okay? Or almost close to the half the season. So that's one guy that you just couldn't expect in the lineup. Another one that went down, Gavin Cash, in which I believe Gavin Cash has way more in the tank than what he's giving out as of right now, okay? Another one here, the two pitchers that just unanimously went down, in which one of them was Shane Sadeo. He just unanimously, he went down with an elbow. Guys, you can't fake it, right? But we still had some of the best pitchers in the league, right? I just don't think that's all been there, okay? However, we've seen this offense be good. We've seen this offense not be good. At the end of the day, Mike Early is still a first-time head coach. And I said this too, right? This is my second year into supervision, in which my first year anniversary just passed over on May 6th in being a supervisor. This is my 1 year anniversary. I'm going into my second year now. My first year was rough. However, I didn't show it. But my first year was kind of hard. It was hard because I was so used to managing just a couple of individuals, but those couple of individuals turned into like 20 plus. And when you're doing that, right, in which I came from a leadership role in which Mike Early pretty much done the same in coaching terms. He was an assistant, but that's all out if you doing regular work. That's nothing but elite, right? I came from my leadership role to supervision. This is what Mike Early is doing now, right? In which he's a manager, so I don't want to say supervision, right? But he's managing the operation. It's a lot of things that he wants to put his hands on, but guess what? He has to learn how to have faith in his coach. Well, he has to learn how to have faith in his coaches, and he has to learn how to have faith in his players. However, it's a couple of things that I had to learn as well, in which, although I'm a supervisor and I'm supervising the operation, also have leads, okay? And I also had to learn how to step in over my lead and be that guy. Hey, I'm the supervisor, right? This is what I'm saying it should be. This is what we're going to roll with. And you're going to have to keep on going. And I guess that's just why I'm so patient with the guy, because he doesn't have an all-around bad team. The record just looks bad. But I do understand why the record looks the way it looks. In Houston, they had no business losing all those games. They didn't. They just didn't. But I think what a lot of us missed was that, and I heard Ryan Brunninger say this on Texas. I think what a lot of us missed and didn't realize was that Houston kind of set up the tale of two stories. This team could be good one day. This team could be bad the next day. But we're going to have to roll through this guy being a first-time head coach, although he had a coach, which the coach that came from Washington, which was a head coach, but now a pitching coach, and where he's going to have to learn how to lean on those guys, okay? The thing that I think we're absolutely appalled about is how the way this team has been hit. Understand that we wanted this team to be way better so far as hitting the baseball down the field, but this team has just not shown that. Like they hadn't shown to be consistent with hitting the ball down the field. And I just think that's what a lot of us are mad at right now. Okay. And I totally get it, right? I totally get it. But we're going to have to let this season continue to play out. We're going to have to go to Georgia no matter what. Hell, we can't turn around. We can't call Georgia and say, hey, Georgia, we're not going to play you guys because we lost goddamn Mizzou. Shit, we don't think we're good enough. Guys, we can't say that. Guess what we can do? Get our asses off the floor, just like they did against Tennessee, just like they did against Arkansas, just like they did against LSU, just like they did against South Carolina, because they could have lost that goddamn last game against South Carolina, but guess what? They did. They're going to have to find it in them again, and again to go out there in Athens and go and win a series in which nobody but those players' moms, dads, coaches, maybe, and a couple of us A&M alumni and fans believe that they can go out and do, and that's get a massive upset win against Georgia. You're going to have to go and win that series, okay? It's nowhere, it's no way up or down. In my honest opinion, you're going to have to go out there and you're going to have to fight for a sweep on that series. Georgia's not going to give it to you by all means, but you're going to have to go out there with a mentality of, I'm coming out here to run rule y'all, because what happened against Missouri shouldn't happen at all. But in reality, it did, and you can't look back on it, okay? You absolutely cannot look back on it, all right? That's just about all I have for that baseball team, okay? And I'm going to move along to softball. Shout out to Trisha Ford and that team, man. They're the number one softball team in the country. They deserve that ranking. They're literally strength of record was number one. Their RPI is number one. I heard Trisha Ford when she got on the interview and said this here. No, not got on the interview, but I heard them when Trisha Ford and Texas A&M played Texas, in which they run rule Texas, by the way, 14-2. And they were saying a couple of things on there that got my attention, man. They were saying that Trisha Ford had her assistant coach, right, make the schedule, the assistant coach came back to her and said, hey, man, this schedule that I got laid out, right? You got to, the SEC, that's going to happen. But this is the non-conference schedule. And they said that Trisha Ford looked at the assistant coach and was like, holy, in my own words, holy cow. That's the hardest schedule I think I've ever seen. Like, how are we going to get any, man, I think that schedule was a little bit too hard. But Trisha Ford told herself this here. You know what? You made the schedule. That's what we're going to play, right? We're going to go out there and find these wins, and we're going to come back home with some wins under our belt and say that we played the best non-conference you could probably ever play in softball history. And that's exactly what she did. If I'm not mistaken, this should be a record, man. In one season alone, Trisha Ford has 19 wins over top 25 opponents for this year alone. I don't think you can say that about Oklahoma. You cannot say that about Texas. You can't say that about Florida. You can't say that about LSU. Hell, you can't say that about any goddamn softball team that's in that tournament right now. They've seen the best of the best except Oklahoma. I'm going to say this again. They've seen the best of the best except Oklahoma. And I think that's what we're going to get to when it's time for the Women's College World Series. We're going to get a matchup in which we should have got in the SEC title game, in which it's going to be Texas A&M versus Oklahoma Sooners. And goddamn it, if that's going to happen, then sign me up. I'm going to watch every bit of it. And I'm going to be rooting for Texas A&M to bring the third softball title home. Okay? I absolutely believe that Texas A&M will get to the Women's College World Series, right? And I absolutely believe that Texas A&M will play for a championship. Win or lose, I believe they'll play for one. I'm in the agreement of that they'll win, right? But we all have to see. I do believe that it's going to be a good regional, but I do believe that this team is taking on a mentality of what I just said that this baseball team needs to do, and that's run rule and sweep their opponents by all means necessary. I love it because she doesn't have that many All-Americans, right? All SEC team, she only had 2 on the first team and 3 on the second team. Oklahoma had about 7, right? In which is deservingly so. Okay. But you turn around and look at Texas, in which was a team that they run rule, and Texas had about 7 all SEC, All-Americans, in which they had 4 on the first team, but then like 3 on the second team. I still believe that this team is disrespected at the end of the day. It is what it is. But this softball team is damn good, and they can't deny it. That's what I love about the mentality of this softball team. You can't deny it. And it just absolutely reminds me of the baseball team that we got last year. And this is crazy how it's flip-flop. But I saw this with Trisha Ford when she went down there to Austin, but I also saw it with Trisha Ford when she played that season that she played on last year. That was a damn good season in her second season, man. And now we're looking at a third, in which Sloss was in his third as well, in which was last year. And he went to College World Series, and he went all the way to the championship game. It wasn't nobody that was denying Texas A&M of getting to that championship game. Okay? Trisha Ford has had the number 1 ranking. This is her second time of having her softball team be number 1 in the country. Now she has the number 1 regional, and in the first time in program history, in which I'm not overlooking this regional, but I would damn sure say that they're going to win that College Station regional. Okay? I am going to say that. And I said that to say this here. For the longest time, I watched LSU be A&M's kryptonite in softball. That ended this season. They not only beat LSU, They ran LSU out the building and they swept them. They swept LSU for the first time in their SEC softball history. They had never done that before. LSU was literally their damn kryptonite, and LSU had been such a good softball team, man. They had been such a good softball team. But I knew for A&M to get to where they wanted to go to, they had to go through LSU. And LSU hadn't won no, Women's College World Series, anything like that, but they had to beat them. Okay? It was always LSU for me. Everybody else was going to fall in line, right? They didn't beat Arkansas. They didn't get that series. That series against Tennessee, that was a very hard-fought series, but they won that. Okay? Then they got to the SEC tournament, and they beat Texas. They absolutely run-ruled Texas. The night before that, they run-ruled South Carolina, in which that coach was heated when they got run-ruled. That coach was very heated, right? But they showed up the next day, and they didn't stop. They run-ruled Texas, in which was a damn good softball team. What they've done over there for softball is insane to me over the years, right? Have a damn good head coach, have got to multiple College World Series championship games, right? Won a Big 12 a couple of times, and has been a thorn in Oklahoma's side because every time they look up, it's Texas right there behind them. Okay? So for them to go in there and run-rule them, this is a season that I believe is going to end with a Women's College World Series trophy. And I want all of you guys to come back to this podcast and remind me of what I just said. I absolutely have way more faith in this team than any team this year for 2025. Okay? I still have faith in this football team, in which I'll talk about that spring game on tomorrow, because the spring game was good, right, to say the least. It should have been a little bit more from that football team, that damn spring game, in my honest opinion. That offense has to show me a whole lot more. Okay? However, I think they can, but that offense got to show me a lot more. You have to. I understand the spring game. I get that, but you got to show me more than that, man. You have to. We're not going to get off subject here, though, but Trisha Ford and this softball team, I love it, man. I love it. Me and my wife, we have watched them a lot this season, and we're going to kick our feet up, and we're going to watch us some softball regionals come Friday, okay? We're going to watch Georgia and Texas A&M on Thursday, and we're going to watch Georgia and Texas A&M on Friday, okay? We're going to kick our feet up, and we're going to watch this, all right? So, guys, that's all I have on today. I know I hadn't been around for a long time, but if you can, please hit that like button. Please subscribe, okay? Thank you for all the ones that tuned in out there, and I'll be back on tomorrow, okay? I love you all. Gigamags.